Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Ninth Legion. Let's play some Astroneer. This is a brand new game that came out yesterday. Actually, at time of recording, I'm recording on Saturday the 17th of December, and this game released onto Steam Early Access on Friday the 16th of December. As you can see over here where it says pre-alpha build, this is a pre-release version of the game, a pre-alpha build, an early access title. It's a hell of a lot of fun. It's really cool. I really like it. I've put a couple of hours into it already. I didn't mean to. I just kept playing more and more when I started. It's really good. You need to see this. You really do. The whole premise of Astroneer is that it is set during the 25th century, during a gold rush where players must explore the frontiers of outer space. Basically, it's got survival elements, it's got exploration elements, it's got base building elements, it's got everything you want in a game. And we're actually in the game right now. This might look like a menu screen to you, but it's not. We're actually in the game. Now, I'm going to choose the look of my character, and I like this guy. He's got like the old 1960s orange NASA spacesuit on. It's pretty cool. So we're gonna launch this guy off into space. Boom! We have launched from our little spaceship up in orbit of this world. We can actually see our ship falling behind us as we drop down into the atmosphere. And this is it. There's no loading screen. We are straight into the game. And we are landing on a brand new world. Now, there have been some comparisons made to No Man's Sky. I enjoyed No Man's Sky. I think this game is actually pretty goddamn cool. I like the graphics. I mean, we've got sunset, we've got planets moving in the sky, there's stars, giant fluffy clouds that look like marshmallows, and our little space guy. I don't know what his name is, he's just Space Guy. Now, there are a couple of important facts to recognise about this game. One is, you might notice that blue cable connecting me back to my landing pod. That's actually very important. That keeps me alive. That connects my backpack here to this guy, to my landing pod, for both oxygen and power. And you need both of those to live, really, which makes sense in a hostile alien landscape. I mean, there's plants around here, but we don't know. These are alien plants. We don't know what they're producing. They could be producing methane gas, for all we know. So we do need to be in our spacesuit at all times. Now, let's go have a look around. So we can untether ourselves. We just basically get out of range and it disconnects. And you'll see on my backpack here, my oxygen meter will start going down. We also have our terrain tool, which is this rather large device on my side. And I can use this to shape terrain. And by shape terrain, I mean I can just start digging holes in the ground. And you can see on my backpack there, the power going down. It will slowly recharge, even if I'm untethered. But it will recharge much faster when I am tethered. And you can hear a little hissing sound that means my oxygen is being replenished as well. So, with that, we don't want to just dig holes in the ground. We need to gather resources. We need to start colonising this strange new world we found. So we want to head over here. Here we go. This is a resource called compound, and we can just dig this out with our tool. And we basically suck it up, and it gets stored into our backpack. You can see it actually accumulating at the back of our tool. I've already forgotten what the damn thing's called. Oh, I'm out of power. Okay, let's go back and get ourselves tethered. Now, one of the reasons we want some compound is we can actually go to our backpack. Here you go. You can see here the compound we've picked up. We can pick it up, we can drop it, we can put it in different slots, we can do all kinds of things with it. But what I actually want to do with that is actually want to make some stuff. So I'm going to craft on my backpack a tether, or in fact a bunch of tethers. There you go, compound is consumed, I get a tether. I've actually got two sets of compounds, so I'm also going to create a small solar array. There's two hard points on my backpack here, so that will automatically pop onto the side of my backpack. And as you can see, this is actually really cool, I like this. You'll notice the position of it there, that changes. It will actually track where the sun is. Unfortunately it's nighttime, so there's no sun to track, and probably not producing that much power, but it actually moves during the day and just tracks where the sun is, which I think is pretty cool. Now, I can place a tether down like this. There we go, and you can see that's connected back to my landing pod, and now I'm tethered at the end of that. So we basically just want to run out here and drop these things down. There we go. Now, I can mine this resource with my tool, get more compound to build more solar panels and more tethers, without losing power or running out of oxygen or anything like that. Now, there are many resources in this game, so it's not just compound we need. So let's go a little bit further out, keep putting down some tethers. And this looks like a good patch. This is some resin Now, we need resin to start expanding our base, so we're going to mine this out with our terrain tool. I really like the terrain deformation you can do with this. It's pretty cool. Oh, I'm out of power. And that's because I'm running off solar power at night. We will slowly start to recharge, and we can work on that. We can get batteries, we can get wind vanes, we can get bigger solar panels, better solar panels. It's just one of those things, unfortunately, that's going to take a little bit of time. This is the very early stages. This is our first day. In fact, yeah, the sun hasn't even come up yet. This is our first day on the planet, and I've already destroyed huge chunks of the planet because I'm just digging holes everywhere. Now, we don't have to just dig holes. I can actually add to the ground, so we can actually build it back up. So I can actually repair the damage I've done, if I so wish. But right now, I've got better things to do. Although, I'll try not to fall into the pit I just dug. So we've got... how much have we got? We've got 2 resin. Okay, that's just enough to get us started. So if I click on the side of my pod, you notice this thing kind of tracks around with me. This is how you build out your base. You click on that, and you give it 1 resin. Boom, and now we've got a little expansion. Now I can apply 2 resin to that to make it into a bigger module. But really, what you want to do from your first one of those, is I'm actually just going to start expanding it again. Like so. And this actually gives you a couple of slots here. We can actually store stuff on those slots if we so wish. If I go to my backpack and say, right, I just need to leave those somewhere, I can leave them on there. I can put solar panels on there, I can put wind vanes on there, and I can also just use this to run off additional extensions from my base as we play the game. But I do need those tethers right now, so what can we see from here? We know there's resin over there. We do want more resin. And the sun's coming up now. There you go, look, you can see my little solar panel pointing. I actually want some more compound though, because I want to build more solar panels. And I think I can see some over this way. Ah, there's a little bit of a bug. Sometimes these look like they've disconnected, but they haven't. There we go. Just got to get the distance right. I don't want to die of oxygen starvation. Very close to my base. Now, there's some more compound here, so I'm just going to untether and run over here, start grabbing this stuff. Might as well grab as much of it as I can while I'm here. Any more? Sometimes if you keep digging down, you'll find more buried elements, but that looks like it was just a small patch. So let's head back over here, re-tether myself, and I would like another solar panel for my suit. There we go, and you can see how much faster we're recharging now with my little solar panels off to the sides. Let's make some more tethers as well. There's a whole variety of stuff you can make from here, but you can also research new stuff that you can make. So we can make wind vanes, solar panels, batteries, tanks of O2, generators to produce power that don't rely on solar power or wind power. There's a lot of stuff you can do. It's pretty cool. I have to say, I've been playing this game for a little while, and for an early access title, this is so far one of the better ones, definitely. Looks like we've got some more resources over there, but I'm not too worried about that. And actually, it looks like we're out of... Are we all done? No, there is still some more resin down here. We are going to need more resin to build out the base. We actually need to build some modules onto those pads I've built. However, there appears to be some kind of structure in the distance over there, so let's start heading out. This game is about survival and exploration, so we need to be pushing the frontiers here. Now, that formation there, that rock formation, the kind of blue bubbly one, that's actually oxygen. Much like games like No Man's Sky, elements aren't always going to appear as you might think they would. So this is just like some kind of crystalline oxygen that we can harvest, and I can actually just suck it up with my terrain tool, and if we grab enough of it on the back of my tool, there we go, I now have 1 set of oxygen, and I can consume that much as I would my O2 tank, so you can refill yourself from that, which is pretty handy. You get the same with power, and the thing is with these kind of style formations, unlike the resin, this will slowly recharge over time. Once I dig out this resin here, it's gone forever. This stuff will regrow over time, and I can come back to it time and time again to get some O2 if I need it. You'll find that with power, formations of compound, most of the major elements will have these kind of recharging rock formations, which means you don't have to worry about running out of supplies, it just takes a while for them to get there. Now, I do want all this resin so we can keep building our base, but we've got to be careful we don't run out of space. We do have a limited backpack, so you do have to watch your inventory. when you're playing this. This is actually... Oh, this is a good patch of resin. How are we doing? We've got 1 slot spare. And I still need to check out what that is in the distance. So let's head over here. I'm not going to bother tethering because we're very close. Now, some people might recognise what this is, but... There we go. That's right, it's some kind of landing pod. We use these things right now to land on Mars. It's basically landing on a giant pair of inflated balloons. And this has some supplies in there for us. Some compound, and that's not terribly exciting. Aluminium, however, that is exciting. That's quite a rare compound, and we're going to need that to build some of the things I want. We'll leave that compound there for the time being. I could try and carry it back, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. Reconnect to my tether, and start heading back. The good thing about tethers is they actually cast light, so we don't have a map or anything like that. So using the tether system, you can actually, find your way back home if you wander too far away. And there we are, home sweet home. Right, I want to build out this pad into a thing, so click on that. There go my 2 resin, and we now have a build pad, basically. From here, I can choose what I want to build. We can have a printer, which basically works the same as my backpack for making things, just bigger things, better things. But I need copper for that, and I don't have any right now. What we want to start off with, well, what I usually start off with, is a research pad. This will allow us to research items we find, unlocking new recipes, or sometimes giving us new raw resources. And it only requires compound to make, which is pretty easy, and I only have 1 compound on me, so I actually need to go back and get that other compound, don't I? Damn it. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop off the stuff here on the slot so I don't lose it. Now, I don't think you have to do this, I just like to do it because it keeps stuff neat. And I'd like it being neat sometimes. Oh, that's a bug. Hang on, I haven't seen that before. There we go. Like I said, I think maybe it's trying to go between the 2 of them. It's not sure which one it should be connecting to. This is an early access game. Oh, you have disconnected entirely, and apparently I don't need you anyway. Fair enough. Like I said, this is an early access title. We have to give it, a little bit of credit for the fact it's just come out. They've not finished working on it. So little bugs like that, don't worry about too much. Although there's this skidding bug like that is rather awesome. And when these guys fuck up, you just got to pick them back up and place them back down. It's not going to be the end of anyone's world. Although I have to say, I've not seen it happen this often. When I've played previously this morning, it hardly did it at all. But oh well. Right, where's that pod? Over here. Nighttime is coming in, but we don't have too much to worry about. So far, I haven't actually seen any life forms. We do have some plants, like these things, and some of them aren't very good for you. But I've never actually seen any wildlife yet. Again, early access title, that's probably something that they are looking to add. However, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dig down to reveal the root structure of these things. And there's a reason for that, and that is because I'm going to grab this. This is an unknown item. You will find a variety of these around the place, and we can use these for research. Oh, and I'm gone through 50% of my oxygen, so let's go get back on our tether. So once we've got that research pad built with the compound I just picked up, we can shove this thing into it. It'll take a little while to analyse it, and then it'll either give us a new blueprint for something to make, or it'll give us some raw resources. And usually rare raw resources as well, so they are always good things to go and find. And they come in a variety of shapes and forms. In fact, I think I've only seen about half of them. There's probably dozens of different things you can pick up to analyse. Oh wow, look at that planet in the distance. Just rising up into orbit above us. I do like the starfield in this. I like the graphics are really cool, I have to say. I like games with this kind of... They've made a very strong stylistic choice, and it works. That's the most important thing. Right, let's build this research thing. There we go, click the thing. Cool. Now, it does say it has no power. We actually need to fill up all of those bars. This one takes about twice as much power as my backpack does. And that's probably not going to happen until daylight comes, so... We can, however, just shove that on top, so it's ready to go when we get some power. And what am I carrying in my backpack? I've got something in my backpack. Oh, my aluminium, yeah. I don't want to lose that. If we die, we have to go rescue the contents of our backpacks, which isn't always a good thing. Now, that looks like some compound over there. So, we probably want more solar panels so we can actually get more power quickly. So, let's work on that. This is a good patch of compound here. What I'm going to do is just build a couple of those small backpack solar panels that I've got, and I'm just going to put them on the base itself, which will help keep everything powered. So there you go, drop that on there. It'll do its thing. And drop you on there, so you can do your thing. On your backpack, you can store them on here, but they won't actually do anything. You notice they don't actually deploy. If you put it down here, though, you can see it immediately actually deploys and starts working. But again, it is nighttime, so I shouldn't be expecting my solar power to do too much. The landing pod itself does produce some power, and obviously your oxygen, but it obviously is quite limited in what it can do. So basically, it can power you, and that's about it. We shouldn't expect too much of that right now. Let's go get some more compound while we're waiting for that. We are fully charged up again. This is a really good patch here of compound. I don't think I've actually seen one this big before. Jesus. I mean, worst case scenario, we'll mine all this out, or mine it until I run out of power at least, and then we can just leave it here, attach it to some of the pods, although I've filled all of them. Oh well. Let's see. What do I need? I do need... Actually, no, I've got a decent amount of tethers. What else could we make? We can't make a battery yet. Don't have any titanium. We could make a beacon. Beacons are useful for... Say you find something particularly interesting out there. You want to mark its location to come back to. That could be useful. And I could make a wind vane with that one aluminium I have. Wind vanes are kind of handy for when there's no sunlight. But there is some wind. So actually, let's do that. Grab that. Make me a wind vane. There we go, and I can just plug that directly into there. This is only a little one, so again, don't expect too much. But no, here comes the sun. You can see the solar panels around there just immediately flick around. So as the sun rises, which is a rather beautiful sight, I have to say, you can see this thing filling up, and with 4 solar panels, well, 2 solar panels, and I wonder if maybe my solar panels feed back into the network when I'm this close. I don't know. Would be cool if I could feed back into the network rather than just taking from it all the time, but we'll see. Let's see if we can't get this thing researched now. There we go. It shall perform its analysis, and we get a new blueprint. What are we going to get? Blueprint for a trade platform. Okay, so that's basically another platform like this that we can build that allows us to perform trade. I've never actually built one. So I've played this off camera a little bit, but I tried not to do too many of the elements, so just so I didn't get too caught up in what was happening and I could experience it with you guys. Let's see, have I still got more compound? I do. I'm actually going to build some more solar panels. We have 2 more slots on the side of our pod here that I can put them on. So that'll really help boost up our power generation. And just mean we don't have to worry about it for the time being. There we go. So that's 4 solar panels. I've got 2 on my suit itself, and we should be pretty good to go. Might be well. Actually, I'm heading in this direction a lot. Let's actually start putting some tethers down, because this is a good spot of compound. I don't think we need any more just yet. What I want is actually some more resin, and there is actually a good deposit of it over there. Now, just like the oxygen tree we saw earlier, or the oxygen rock rather, this is pretty much the same thing, but it does resin, and it's also much bigger. So I can just start sucking this stuff out. If I aim in the right place. And we'll get some resin. Now, I'll take everything this thing has to offer right now, which gives me 3 and a bit cubes, which isn't bad, and we'll leave it alone. You can harvest it from any of the 3 points around these larger formations, but they all have the same amount. They all draws from the same pool, so we've got to leave that to actually recharge now. And from here, we can actually see a couple of interesting things. There are some big chunks of wreckage lying around in the distance, which I think we want to go check out. Now, we've got some tethers on us. I think that would be rather fun. So, let's see how far we can get away from our ship towards that wreckage in the distance. There's another patch of resin here, so... Oh! I might already have tethers. I thought I had... Okay, I thought I had more. Is there any compound around us? No, I'm in the middle of a bunch of resin. Okay, we have some time. We can afford to be untethered. You've just got to pay attention to what's happening. And actually head in the right direction. So that is a big piece of crashed spaceship. Don't know why it's here, don't know how it crashed, but we can actually get some cool stuff from it. However, there is actually some compound over this way, so we're going to grab some of that. And I'm going to use this to make some more tethers to bring over here so we can actually explore further without dying. There we go, that'll do. Yeah, see, my oxygen's already starting to run out. Although I could also just grab some from here and recharge. See, there you go, you can see my tank filling up. Beautiful. Alright, let's go stand over here and re-tether while I build my tethers. Re-tether while I build my tethers. Perfect. Good English there. Build 2 sets. You tend to go through tethers quite quickly. You always need tethers, so... Also, tethers themselves, a compound rather, is actually quite easy to find, so it never really hurts. Oh. Oh, no, that's a bad thing. Okay, you see that giant cloud on the horizon? That is a storm, and storms are bad. We need to get into a hole, and we need to take some shelter, because in a moment this is going to become very hostile. So, storms blow in from time to time on most worlds that you be on. I think it might actually be every wall. You get a little bit of warning, because you can see them coming on the horizon, and then you can also hear them coming, hopefully. And yeah, visibility drops down to nothing. They're very difficult to walk through, and then after a short amount of time, you're going to see in a moment. No, keep the camera out, keep the camera out. We are going to see some rocks that get picked up and blown through with the storm. I imagine. Maybe? Maybe not. Where are the rocks? Okay, normally there's bouncing rocks. We're not going to get pounded with rocks? Maybe we're on the edge of the storm itself. So they're not... Okay, yeah, that storm actually didn't pass us by. Normally they pick up a bunch of debris and rocks and throw it at you, and they will kill you if you get hit by a flying rock in one of those storms. However, the storms themselves aren't centered on the player or anything. They are a random event. That one just happened to blow into our path. So you can sometimes see them in the distance and just avoid them. It is a random event that goes over the surface of the planet. And in that case, we must have been on the edge because we didn't see any rocks. Although that would have been cool to show you guys, so that's a bit disappointing. Right, one crashed spaceship chunk. I'm not quite sure what kind of spaceship this is, but it's definitely had a bad landing. Now, what we want to do is actually start digging this thing out. I'm on the wrong side, I think, because it does have some goodies inside. This is like a crashed transport ship of some description. And if we can actually access the interior, and we should be able to from somewhere. There's actually going to be some goodies inside, and I would really like those, because it usually gives you rarer material. Although, normally, finding the opening is easier than this. Yeah, I think we're going to have to dig down here. There we go. There's always a hole in the side somewhere. I'm out of power. Why didn't I put more tethers down? There's no real point in my doing this untethered. Okay, that actually might be enough. So, down we go. Start excavating the interior, and there we go. Right, mounted in the centre on this pipe, you can actually see there's a bunch of resources. We've got some compound, we've got some more aluminium, I believe that is copper, and that is lithium. My backpack is unfortunately full though, so... let's see. I really actually want that lithium because I can make a battery from that. Okay, tell you what we do. We drop the tethers for the moment. We grab the lithium, and with that, I'm going to make myself a battery, and that'll allow me to store more power. So when I do go off tether, I won't drain all my battery, all my suit power, as quickly. And now I should be able to pick up that tether. Nope. Okay, I guess I'll have to drop some compound then. Or some resin, maybe. Or the beacon. No. Get rid of that. Need my tethers. Okay, right, let's get back out the hole. Back on tether. Now, there's always other bits of wreckage around, so you can dig these out of the ground, but unfortunately you can't really do anything with them. They're just chunks of debris. What you've got to keep your eye out for are bits that look like this. This is another research item. So if we dig that out, there we go, I can now pick that up and carry it home to do some more research, and we'll see if we get another blueprint, or maybe it's full of materials, we don't know. There's no way of actually telling what's inside this until we've actually taken it back to the research station. But we just pick it up and kind of carry it around. It looks a bit funny. I admit I did laugh a little bit when I saw the pickup animations. But I'm just gonna say it's a low gravity world. We can easily carry this thing, and just kind of pick it up and drop it and carry it with us, and then miss picking up again because I'm trying to show off too much. So if we can get back, and we should have full power on the research station, because obviously we've been away all day. We've probably not drained that much power from the system, considering how many solar panels we've got going at the moment. So let's slop that on there, and immediately... Oh, cool, my wind vane's going. Ah, brilliant. Start the research. You can see how quickly it uses all the power. It basically fills... You get one charge out of the whole thing. And we got another blueprint. What do we get? We researched truck. Cool. Okay, that's actually a bigger utility vehicle for going around on the ground. That is definitely something I want to start working towards getting hold of. But we probably don't have the resources for that just yet. Although it's something we can start moving towards. Anyway, I think this episode's gone on long enough. So here we go. That was our first look at Astroneer. I'm definitely planning on playing some more. So do feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this. And hopefully I'm going to see you later on for more of this. Bye.